Hello there and welcome to Fairyland Cottage, and thanks very much for joining me here today. A few of you message asking how one can reduce their mobile phone usage. Now, it's something that I've been particularly interested in, especially over the last few years, and I've made some conscious efforts to actually reduce the amount of time that I'm on my phone. Now, we all know that there's certain benefits to having a mobile phone, but in this video I'm going to focus on reducing it due to the disadvantages. We live in a world where we're all connected digitally, and yet there's far more loneliness than ever before. And technology and digital phones don't seem to be a genuine substitute for real human connection. So many people, especially teenagers who are on social media a lot, are expressing that they're lonelier than they were before. They may have thousands of friends on social media, yet very few real friends in the real life, so to speak. And in a world that's filled with constant distraction, mobile phones can easily add to that. And what I found was that I was constantly distracted all the time with my mobile phone. I wasn't really ever present in my life or with the people around me. So one of the main ways I feel I've reduced my mobile phone usage is having other activities that I do. Focusing on living my own life rather than looking at other people's lives. This is quite relevant when we're scrolling on social media. But I found with myself, I would go towards my mobile phone when I was bored. Even if you don't even have social media accounts, it can be just looking online constantly, shopping online constantly. So I remember my grandparents' time, they always seemed to be busy. And I was always doing different things for their daily activities or different interests that they had. So one of the things that I love is I love collecting herbs, foraging, drying them and then using them in teas or in dishes. It's a very simple activity, but it just takes a little bit of time and effort. I'm a complete beginner, so I'll only pick things and I know what they are. But when I'm doing these activities, my phone isn't close to what I'm doing. I find nowadays we live in a world where we're having to show everything that we're doing. We can't just do the activity anymore. We have to share it online. And according to most statistics out there, it hasn't really brought us any more contentment or happiness. In fact, it seems to have brought the opposite. Even just having the desire that you want to reduce your mobile phone usage is a great place to start. The next tip I have for reducing mobile phone usage is to get references, first of all, from books, and then if you can't, go to the phone after. I love the process of holding a book. Somebody putting all this together in a book that can last forever, that you can hand down to grandchildren. I love that you can share different books with friends or relatives. This is my grandmother's vegetable book. It's incredibly old and I still use it to this day. So certain information, especially about nature, doesn't seem to get as outdated as other information. So a lot of the books that I have are reference books, either nature, herbs, wild food, homemade products that I can make. Things that I feel add value to my life and serve a purpose practically for me. And then if I don't have that particular book, or I can't get it in the library or in a secondhand shop, well then I'll go to the phone afterwards. But it's always the last resource rather than the first. The next tip I have is to not have your phone within arm's reach. This was a statistic I read recently where it said over 90% of people will have their phone within arm's reach of them. And it's incredibly distracting. And so you're never really ever doing something like reading a book or having a conversation with a friend or somebody. There's always just that slight distraction over to the phone. So I just put it somewhere else away from my arm's length. The next way that I've reduced my phone usage is getting rid of all the apps that I don't use anymore. So this is a little bit like, I suppose, decluttering the phone, but it could be just games that I maybe played once or maybe got a little bit too addicted to a certain game. So just get them off the phone, and I can't have the habit then of just going and playing them or looking at these apps I don't even use. The next tip I have is when you're scrolling on social media, for me it's Instagram, is to set an alarm for 10 minutes or whatever time you want to give yourself. Happily scroll, and when the alarm goes off, phone goes down, and I change my position, like get up out of the seat. And it has definitely reduced those hours and hours I used to spend just aimlessly scrolling, looking at everybody else's life, thinking the grass was greener. And now I definitely feel more content just living my own life. The next way I've reduced phone usage is not having on the table when I eat meals. Now this was a habit I just got into. I'd bring the phone over, I'm eating a meal, and even though it's on silent, I would still see it light up and your eye is drawn over to it. And did you know, for something like eating a meal, it's actually really important for digestion that we're mindful when we're eating the meal. So just taking the phone off, it also means that you can have a nice conversation with other people that are there eating with you, whether that's family or friends. So the last tip I have for reducing my phone usage is to leave it outside the bedroom at night time. It's a real simple one, but this has been incredible for me. I used to scroll for hours at night time, and it means you're going to bed later. It's all this blue light close to sleep, so it really disturbs your sleep. So it's just a simple way. I leave it in the living room and I'll find it the next morning. So I'd love to know your tips down below of how you've reduced your phone usage. Let's chat as always. Thank you very much for watching. Have a wonderful week. Keep it simple, and I'll see you in the next video.